Okay, I'd like to nominate Bruce as President Pro Tem. Do I have to ask for a motion?
Just make a motion.
Oh, make a motion?
Yeah.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes. Okay. Time is 6 o'clock. And it's April 25th, 2024, regular meeting of the Vernon Hills Board of Park Commissioner. And I call this meeting to order. Would those present please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Does she have to turn it down maybe?
To the flag of
The United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amy, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner
Maybe she does
Jacobs,
it from this. There's arrows.
Commissioner Robbins,
Here.
Commissioner Geraldo,
Here.
Vice President Senti, President Dorhofer.
Okay. Next item is items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and are non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. The omnibus vote agenda items are minutes of the special meeting of March 21st, 2024, minutes of the regular meeting, February 22nd, 2024, and payables and payroll through March 21st, 2024, in the amount of $936,573.91. May I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes. Superintendent Mitchell, are there any changes to the financial reports on file for the period ending March 31st, 2024?
No, there are no changes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, the board will hear remarks from the public. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and no board response will be given. Are there any remarks to be heard? And I don't see any public here, so the next item is I'd like to welcome Ken Shafkus to the podium for an update on the Turtle Creek Water Park Spray Ground project.
Good evening. It's been a while, I think about a year since I last saw you guys. Much has changed in the project, but we got it going. We did a little drone footage the other day to just give you guys a feel for, password.
Give me 1 second.
Things are going well. This time of year it's always a challenge with the rain. Kind of sets us back. We had a few surprises early on in the ground with existing pipes. Luckily, we did not break those pipes. They're for the lazy river. So it caused us to have to adjust some things on site. Nothing too major, kind of typical construction stuff that happens. So we're moving along, and here's some of the pictures. So what you see there is basically from your existing water slide looking down. You can see the lazy river to the right. The kind of oblong shape, that's your future spray pad. Right now, it's got all the concrete foundations are poured within it. Can't really see that just from this far away. But those allow us to build a structure at a certain elevation, the vortex structure. We're getting ready right now to pour the pad. We anticipate that'll be poured next week. The rectangular thing at the bottom of the picture, that's the foundation for the building that's going to house the equipment. That equipment building showed up the other day. It's unloaded. It's in the parking lot. It's ready to go. Currently, we can't start erecting it yet because the site is just too disrupted. We're still putting pipes and such in the ground. We anticipate about 3 weeks for that. So, but the good news is, a constant problem we've had in construction for the last 3 years is just getting material. So if we have it in our hands, so it's a plus, we have it, we're not gonna wait for anything. And that's true of everything else. We got the vortex structures, the shade structure, all the things that we might have had to wait for in other projects. They were pre-bought a long time ago, so now we're ready to go. We're just men and material, basically what we need to be out there. So here's another shot of it. Not really, it's more of a construction-y feel right now. Next month, we're gonna do another drone run by, and we'll send that footage to you, Jeff, and that'll show a little more definition to it. This was taken last Saturday. Since that time, we've poured some of the sidewalks from the bridge connecting up to the old sidewalk by the plunge pool. It's just another view. All the underground, like I said, is in the sewers. We made our connections to the water. The only piping left to go in the ground right now is from the splash pad itself to a couple of the valve vaults. We've got to make some final connections. Yeah, it's just kind of just showing that splash pad. That is what you see right there. I think there's a video here. This is right. You can see the lower part of the screen right now. That's the sidewalk that's framed up. We've got a portion of it poured. As of now, the rest of it's all poured out and done. We're experiencing a little problem with the subcontractors right now this time of year because they've got other projects. So like my plumber had to disappear for 2 days. It's kind of to be expected. When we changed everything and lost our starting date in Labor Day, we knew this was gonna be a problem. We still believe we can get you for 4th of July. We don't want the advertising department to say that yet. Don't advertise it yet. But as of right now, it's looking like we can still achieve that. Dollars and cents wise, we've had a few changes, like basically because of that piping that was in the ground early on, we discovered about a month ago and stuff, but we're within our allowance that we had for unforeseen conditions, so we're good there. Yeah, if you have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? I mean, my question is really to our staff is, how are we gonna, how and when are we gonna start promoting this to the public?
Well, I mean, our public knows there's a spray ground coming, so everything we've done says late summer. So when we know
Yeah, I
a more
think-
definite date, we'll change that, but until we know, because you just never know what could possibly come up.
Right.
We just want to be safe, so we don't
Sure.
want to promise something and it doesn't happen. But everything in all of our publications and online, and even for our season pass, we do say that there will be a spray ground coming late summer that's part of your season pass.
A month from now, like I'll come back here to, you're having another meeting this roughly around this time next month, right? I'd be happy to come back again, and then we should really be able to drill down, because we'll have everything in the ground, no more surprises. We'll have a really good finger on the pulse of when we can get this open.
Great.
So at that time, then maybe we can give you some room to run with if advertising or whatever it is. In the meantime, of course, if anything comes up, I'll let Mark and Jeff know, say, hey, we got a problem and we need to change something.
We do want to just, I do want to just make a clear statement that there are some people, because of all the construction, when they drive by, they think we're closing the river. And, the board made that decision last June that we're keeping the river open. So the river and the water slides will be open for the summer in addition to the spray ground when we get that ready to go.
Yeah, it's one thing I gotta coordinate with Mark. We've got a plan where we're gonna install some temporary fences so that the public can enjoy the river and have full access to it. We're gonna limit our access then just strictly off Aspen, because right now we're kind of moving some of our material and stuff through the park. But at that time, we're gonna say, nope, no more, those are strictly off Aspen Drive.
Great. Any other questions, comments? Good, all right.
Thank you.
Ken, thank you.
Oh, one unrelated thing, I want to say thank you to the Park District. I was here last night for my daughter, she's in the SRA CLC program. Thank you guys for giving the facility. I know they don't pay you, and there's no anything like that for that, and it's really appreciated. It was wonderful, and,
Must have missed you. I left about 7 o'clock. Did
Oh,
you
really?
come in later?
yeah, I had to save my seats, because it was a packed
Okay,
house.
I missed you.
Yeah, so no, it
Very
went off
nice.
without a hitch, and thanks again for allowing that to happen, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. going forward. Tonight, there's no unfinished business. So the first item of new business is the 2024 to 2025 Executive Director Work Plan. May I have a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Executive Director Work Plan?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay. Amy, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes. The next item of new business is ordinance 03-24, an ordinance declaring a surplus and authorizing the sale or other conveyance of surplus personal property of the Vernon Hills Park District, Lake County, Illinois. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 03-24?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes. The final item of new business is the 2024 through 2028 District Comprehensive Plan. May I have a motion to approve the 2024 to 2028 District Comprehensive Plan?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, if not, may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes. Okay, at this time, the board will hear the various staff reports for the evening. The first one is Marketing and Communications Manager. Cheryl, would you like to give your report, please?
Good evening, everyone. Our summer program guide was mailed to our residents early last week. Resident registration is ongoing. Non-resident registration begins April 27th. Our Turtle Creek Water Park Aquatic Guide is on display in all of our facilities. It has information about our general pool information. Excuse me. It'll be distributed in our camp programs, our child care classes, and other summer programs. We also have a new rental guide. I'm sorry, I was going to bring each of you one. This new pamphlet, it's on display up front by our desk. It has all of our information about renting our meeting rooms, picnic shelters, our pavilion, gymnasiums, and rental space at the Turtle Creek Water Park. As far as advertising for some of our bigger events coming up, our craft beer tasting event is on May 18th. We'll be having ad notes, which are those little front page 3-inch by 3-inch stickers scheduled for the Daily Herald the week before the event, letting people know easily as soon as they see their paper. We also have a lot of social media and print advertising as well as email advertising going out for craft beer. We're already gearing up for our Little Beer Rib Fest in mid-August. We also have a May 19th is a summer fun special section from the Daily Herald. It's a pull-out section that you keep. We have a Rib Fest ad in that section. We also are on their online calendar for Rib Fest, and as information changes or we get information, I can keep updating that online calendar for us. We also have our front page ad notes similar to craft beer. They're scheduled for our Little Beer Rib Fest, and we also have some print ads. So lots going on for Rib Fest already, and I know that we have our summer lineup of entertainment, and that was advertised in our summer guide. I'm creating the district web pages right now, getting all the information, and those will be live soon. We have some new fun little signs. They're not out in the parks yet, but they're cute. They're circles, and they're like selfie spot signs. So we're gonna move them around the parks where we think it's a really cute place to take some selfies, and we're asking people to tag us, and that's all on the little, it's a round sign. So we ordered about 5 of them, and as soon as the weather gets nicer, we'll be moving them around the parks, and hopefully people will be sending us their photos. For the district website, people are coming back and getting ready for our spring and summer programs. Session use increased 9% over the past month for a total of almost 15,000 sessions and over 24,000 page views. Our top pages visited were our homepage, Turtle Creek Water Park, the Deer Path Egg Dash, day camps, and the VHAB. There was a 52% spike in sessions, which is 952 unique sessions on April 16th, and that is when the summer program guide was posted to the website and registration began. As far as social media, we did a Facebook post for our spray ground and it reached 12 times the normal reach of most of our posts, which is over 25,000. And I did ask our media specialist, marketing specialist, excuse me, why that was, and she said people were just really interested, so it just kept going. So that's great news to hear about that. We also had another post, it was just about our budget in general, and that resulted in over 38,000 impressions and 40 clicks to our website. The most engaging Facebook posts were our spray ground construction. People are really interested in that. Our egg hunt photos, the Lakeview Running Crew, and our April Member of the Month over at Lakeview Fitness. And then our most engaging Instagram was when we had our guests from the Vernon Hills High School at our board meeting.
Oh, cool.
And one more thing to note that I didn't put in there. We are doing a Groupon for Turtle Creek Water Park. It's going to be a little bit different this year because of the uncertainty of when the spray ground will open. So from June 1st to June 30th, just that first month, we'll have a live Groupon. It will be a get 2 daily admissions for $18. It's a $36 value. And then it's going to shut down on the 30th. And then staff will reevaluate if we want to continue it, and we can change the price. We can change things as time goes along. We don't have to stay to that fee, but we did anticipate maybe fees changing once the spray ground was open. And that's my report for the evening.
Okay, great. Any questions for Cheryl? Cheryl, thank you. Okay, next up is the Finance and HR Superintendent. Jessica, would you like to give your report? Yeah, that was quick.
In March, the district did not receive any property tax revenue, so through March, the district has received 99.3% of the 2022 adjusted tax extension. As of March 31st, the district has $9,714,000 in cash and investments. $6,771,000 is invested in 31 certificates of deposit and treasury bills with various maturing dates over the next 60 months. And $2,942,000 is available for cash flow purposes. All excess cash is invested in the Fifth Third Bank's money market fund at 4.49%, or a money market fund with investment brokers. As certificates and treasury bills mature in months ahead, some of the funds will be reinvested, but much of it will be used to cover capital expenses that are due soon. In March, our capital expenditures were $331,000. Expenses included engineering services at Hartman Park, Century Park South, insulation and heaters, and construction and renovation at Turtle Creek Water Park. Lake County provided property tax rates and extensions for tax year 2023 to be extended to 2024. The EAV for tax year 2023 is $1,308,216,000, an approximate 0.0479% decrease from tax year 2022. Based on the extension received and the district's requested cutbacks, the district will receive $36,000 less in property tax than originally included in our fiscal 25 budget. The fiscal 25 budget has been updated to reflect the property tax extensions, which is also appropriately reflected in the budget and appropriation ordinance. For the past several weeks, the draft of the district's fiscal 24-25 budget and appropriation ordinance has been displayed here at the Sullivan Center, as well as a copy of the district's fiscal 25 budget draft. It can also be found on the planning and finance page of the district website. As a reminder, we have a public hearing, a budget and appropriation hearing on May 8th at 5 p.m. here at the Sullivan Center. A legal notice was placed at the Vernon Hills Review and ran on April 11th, notifying the community. The district received $14,830 on March 22nd from Fifth Third Bank for the P-card rebate from our Park District Commercial Card Consortium. This amount was appropriately included in our fiscal 24 budget projections. We are budgeting to receive $16,000 in fiscal 25 with anticipation of the group growing. Through 2023, the group expensed $17 million and spending was up 37.5%. The standard spend earn was 1.32%, which is the category the district fell in. Our district's aggregate spend was $12.5 million, placing us in the top 5 of the group participants. At the end of December 2023, there was 29 participants. That has since grown most recently to 31 participants, or 31 members. That concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Jessica. Okay, next is Park Superintendent. Mark, would you like to give your report, please?
Good evening. As we know, with the playground going in, pool maintenance has begun for the opening of the season, June 1st. Dave Swyke, our facilities foreman and staff have been working hard. They've got all domestic water up and running. The front half of the pool has been power washed and cleaned, and staff is now working on prepping the lazy river and water slides. Park restrooms have been open for public use for the season. We ask that patrons please respect this amenity that we provide to our park users. We also encourage park patrons to contact emergency services if suspicious activity are occurring within and around our parks and our park restrooms. The playground construction we have around town at our parks, Kids Around the World has removed the playgrounds at Hawthorne Melody and Hartman Park. The park staff is working on site preparation, removing footings and wood chips. Installation of the playground at Hawthorne Melody actually started today. And it should be completed by end of May, weather permitting. Hartman Playground will be an ongoing process with the park renovation taking place. The gardens have been cleaned and prepped. When the new plot holders get to their sites, the plots will have been tilled and ready for planting. Last month, we had a domestic hot water heater breakdown at the Sullivan Center. It had a cracked heat exchanger. The unit was deemed inoperable and had to be replaced. A contractor came in and the facility was only without hot water for only about 5 days. If you haven't been by, all the lobby lighting is now updated at Lakeview Fitness Center. Looks great. Lacey picked out a nice fixture. So if you haven't been by, go take a look. It's nice. And the Turtle Creek Water Park Bathhouse has begun the remodel. Camosi started working. Demolition of the existing interior is complete, and they got final permitting and construction has already started. They're well underway. Things are moving along really well. So, and that is it.
Okay, great. Any questions for Mark?
The bathhouse will be open by 6/1?
Yes,
Okay,
that's the plan.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, our Recreation Superintendent, Tom.
Good evening. Give you an update on some events that, whoops, they're on the screen. Scroll for a minute. Do you have a hard copy? Okay. Great timing. Must have hit something. Yeah. Thanks. This weekend is our Loop the Lakes 5K run and walk over at Century Park. We currently have 126 people signed up, and the last I saw is an 80-degree sunny day. I can't believe that this Saturday. So we very possibly could have a strong walk-up turnout as well. So we'll see where that goes. Registration is still available though, so anyone is welcome to come join. Immediately following that event is our annual free family kite fly over at the Island Shelter at Century Park. Obviously, it's very weather dependent, but if the forecast is like I just said, it could be a very nice turnout for this free event. We always have about a dozen extra kites available for purchase for those that don't have one, but they'd like to purchase one on site. So hopefully the weather holds as planned. A week from today, Thursday, May 2nd, will be our second annual Puzzle Palooza. We did that new event last year, and we had about 8 or 10 teams, and we've already got 12 with a little bit of time left. So maybe we'll have 15 or more teams participate. And again, it's a very simple, non-competitive competition, I guess you could call it. I mean, everybody gets a 500-piece puzzle, each group, and just we have some music and some snacks, and they build their puzzles. But the winner gets prize, and thank you to Baxter Credit Union. They sponsor a lot of things for us, but they're sponsoring the prize. They're getting a $100 gift certificate or gift card to Snickle Fritz, which seems appropriate. They have a specialty toy store for a puzzle event, so that's very much appreciated. So that will be from 6 to 8 p.m. next Thursday evening. So again, there's still opportunity to register. May 18th will be our annual craft beer tasting that Cheryl referenced. We currently have 20 vendors that will be pouring beer that evening. And we have a band scheduled, and we have a food truck called Spoon Burger that's gonna be there as well. I always have to thank Benny's. Benny's gets all the product provided for us at that event, and it makes for a much better overall experience for everybody to have their support. If the weather is poor, knock on wood it's not, we will move that event indoors to the Sullivan Center, where it's been held many times in the past, but we definitely prefer the outdoor setting if the weather holds. I'll jump all the way to August, just to confirm. This time of year, I get a lot of questions from people. What are the actual dates of Ribfest? What are the actual dates? It's the 16th and 17th of August, a Friday night and a Saturday night. We do have our lineups confirmed as far as entertainment. By the time it was all said and done, I realized 3 of the 6 are returning bands from 3 years ago. They had different shifts in the different time slots, but the opener on Friday is the Mike Wheeler Band. Mike Wheeler is a Chicago Blues Hall of Famer, so that's pretty cool to have as an opener. He was one of the ones that played 3 years ago, as well as the main act on Friday night, which is called Mississippi Heat. Saturday's opening lineup, opening artist is Denise LaGrassa. The second act is the Altered 5 Blues Band, and the main act on Saturday night is the other returning one, which is going to be their 3rd time here, Dwayne Dupsy and the Zydeco Hellraisers. And that whole Cajun sound really gets people moving, and it makes for a good closing night on Saturday night. So we're looking forward to all of our artists. Reminder that if people see this before April 30th, they still have a shot of saving 10% by buying their season pass at the Aquatic Center. May 1st, standard rates will apply, and we will be opening on June 1st for our standard operation. Shifting gears to programming. Excuse me, feeling a little bit of a cold. The University of Illinois Extension Office always does a great job providing us a free Master Gardeners class every spring, and that will be held next Tuesday. The day we posted it, 42 of the 50 spots filled, and now it's full. So really strong turnout for that free question and answer session, and they go over a variety of different things on how to garden, and a lot of the tools that they recommend people using to make things more convenient. A lot of ergonomic tools to save on your muscles, and that's what they plan on doing at this session. And along those lines, our gardens, there were 66 plots available this year, since Hartman Park was not available, and we had 86 requests. So there's still a strong demand for our gardens, and they should be open in that first week of May, most likely. We will confirm with them before we allow them out on the grounds. We've seen a very good but hard to explain explanation why our adult softball league numbers have gone up, but we had 15 men's teams last year, and we have 15 men's teams again, but it's been at least, I want to say it's been 3 years since a co-ed softball league has gone, and now it's full with 8 teams. I don't know where they came from, but someone suggested maybe because more people were back at work, that the company teams, people are in the office, they're putting teams together. That's very possible, being a very corporate community, but we'll probably ask around during the season, see how they found out or why they're playing, but we're looking forward to a full co-rec league. So we have 23 softball teams playing 3 nights a week this summer, starting next week at
VHAC.
yeah, thank you. Like I said, I have a little bit of it's a little clogged up here. I mentioned this once, I think several months ago, but I just wanted to follow up on it, that our youth basketball season just ended, and I would say it was preseason last year that Jay started kind of a reuse program. A lot of people who have kids in youth sports realize you get a lot of pennies or pullovers or multi-sided two-tone jerseys that you just interchangeable, and after you played 5 years, you got drawers full of them, and they just, textiles are something that really should be recycled. And so Jay started a program. If you return your penny, and it's in good condition, we'll give everybody a $5 credit to their household, and then we can repurpose that jersey again for the following season instead of throwing it in the garbage or landfill. And we've had well over 100 people return their jerseys. So we're doing the right thing for the environment. They're getting a little bit of a credit, and we're not having to buy as many brand new jerseys when they return them to us. So overall, a really nice program. So it's nice, good idea on Jay's part. We encourage people to keep doing that. Bring your jerseys back. Closing in on the dance recital for the end of our dance program for Aspen Dance. Julie and her staff are preparing for that recital. We have 113 girls participating in the recital here at the Sullivan Center on May 4th. Last year, we had 87 dancers, which was double, and so we still have another 30% increase this year. So dance program is doing really well. And for 2025, we just confirmed with Libertyville High School, we're going to do a recital there next year. Years ago, we did do it at Vernon Hills High School. Great place. It's just that if we switch to Vernon Hills, it's about the same amount of seating capacity as if we held it here. Libertyville seats a couple hundred more, so it'll allow us to get more families to come watch the recitals. So that'll be in, I think, June 1st of 2025. We have graduation coming up for our preschool children as well as our Little Learners Child Care students. Preschool graduation is May 15th, which is a Wednesday, and then the next 2 days they spend having picnics in our parks to close out the school year, and Little Learners Child Care has their graduation on May 31st, also here at the Sullivan Center. And then finally, I just wanted to mention that we had a very good first-year relationship with the British Swim School over at Lakeview Fitness, that we extended a 4-year agreement with them for the next through 2028. It's been a good marriage for both parties. They really, really enjoy being at Lakeview. They think it's a wonderful facility, best facility they have. And I think they've been very responsive partners whenever there's issues. They're quick to try and make sure that we're accommodated. So happy to be working with them. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
Okay, any questions for Tom?
I just wanted to say thank you for the recycling program. I myself have turned in 10 jerseys from over the years.
Good job.
It was great to get them out of closets, so thank you, and encourage everybody else to do it.
Thank you.
Tom, I do have one question. That Master Gardener's class,
Yep.
Where's it at and what time?
Oh, good question. It is held here at the Sullivan Center in our Aspen room, and it's from, I think it's 6 to 8 p.m. I didn't put it on here because I knew it was full anyway. Honestly, I think it's from 7 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
here. If we have a waiting list of like 5 people or less being free, I'll probably just tell them to come over. I just don't want 100 people because we don't have the space for it. So I think there's one person on the waiting list right now.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. All right, next, our facility manager, Lacey, you want to give your monthly report, please?
Good evening. Facility attendance for Lakeview Fitness for March 2024 was 9,055 visits with 1,112 unique visits. Monthly and annual memberships currently total 1,379, which is holding pretty steady, which is pretty typical for this time of year. May 2nd and 3rd, so next week, the entire pool and spa and the women's locker room will be closed for repairs. We're replacing the pool ladders, and then in the women's locker room, we're doing a top coat on the main walkways, on the floors that are less slip, they're more slip resistant, so they'll have a little bit more traction. So the pool and the women's locker room will be closed for those full 2 days. Membership statistics, just kind of combining all of the statistics, our total leads for the month was 54 and our total sales were 17. And I did want to draw some attention to the retention efforts that Paulina has put into effect since she has started with us. We have our member appreciation days, which are ongoing. Our next one is May 10th. And she is overseeing the welcome email chains that have finally been launched through the CRM. And those are going very well. And she also just started our email chains for cancellations and people that have not redeemed their free trials or after their tours. She sent out her first email and it immediately resulted in 2 annual memberships. So that initiative is going very well. So kudos to Paulina. And then she's also sending re-engagement emails to lost members due to lack of use. So she's really trying to re-engage our members that have left us to try to get them to come back. And then for her future efforts, she's looking at creating a referral program, which we hope to be able to do through the CRM. So, programming, we have cardio karaoke that is coming up. It's $10 for our drop-in participants and free for Lakeview Fitness members. So this will be a blend of karaoke and exercise. Tai Chi begins the next session on May 18th. They will meet on Saturday mornings. And then the Lakeview Fitness crew is going strong. It has grown to 22 participants enrolled. Their next run is on May 21st, and we'll meet at Crispin Green after their run. And then the summer education pass is actually on sale now if students are already home from school. So we open it up a little bit early. Normally we wait till May 1st, but we open it up. So this is for students ages 14 and up or anybody who works for an educational institution. And then Mighty Kids is coming up June 15th, and we'll be back at Lakeview Fitness for that race. That concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Okay, any questions for Lacey? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Final report is our executive director. Jeff, you want to give your report, please?
Sure, thank you. I'm going to go back to the Puzzle Palooza that Tom referred to. That was an event that Commissioner Geraldo brought to our attention a few years back that you attended, so.
Yeah.
And here it is, it's a great hit.
Great, I
So
hope.
thank you for that idea. We always love stealing, well, many other places that help out. Just a lot of projects going on. I think, you heard from Mark in terms of, and Ken earlier with the water park. And actually, like any project of this magnitude, we had some issues where they were doing some digging and found an unexpected large pipe that we had to work around a little bit. The canopy, where that was being placed, again, another pipe. And so these are things that we don't even see on the drawings. And just for the board's reference, when they built the lazy river 20-some years ago, there was a plan to extend that river even twice the size it is now, to go out further beyond that green space, and they just ran out of money. And so there are likely pipes underneath the ground to basically accommodate that potential expansion that never happened. Now, we're not going out that far south, but we're finding, just kind of these ancillary pipes as we do some digging. But I think we're good now, as Ken alluded to. A couple of vaults out there. One of the vaults we have, which if you can kind of envision the area, and you don't really see it in the topography, but there's heavy berm around the perimeter of the fence, so everything pitches right to that. So from a design, we wanted to make sure that we were going to be concerned about any fill water. And so we're finding one of the vaults that it is filling with water. So one of the things Mark and I, as we were out there with the contractors, I don't know, maybe a week or 10 days ago, we just instructed them to put some additional piping in there in case we have to put a pump in to bring that water out and pump it out, so that, we're not filling it in and all of a sudden, we're trying to dig back in. So that, those are things we can catch. They're minimal expense then to just make sure that things are happening appropriately. So things are going well there. Fingers crossed that, we continue to have decent weather, and these guys are moving really well. Ken and his team are out there quite a bit. Yeah, and if you get a chance to just, if you're driving by Hartman Park or Hawthorne Melody Park, and you can see Hawthorne Melody, all the play equipment's out there. They're starting to install that, and as Mark alluded to, we expect through the contractor that he's telling us again, weather permitting, that could be ready by, mid to late May, that playground will open. And that's got some really cool features with that orbiter and some of the things you guys have witnessed. And then Hartman Park is just ready to go with that. For just the public's benefit too, when we get into Hartman, because we have a T-ball program out there on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and the parking lots are going to be torn up. And so we would encourage families, and we'll work with Jay Bowman will be communicating to our affiliate groups to have parents just park along Oakwood on one side facing south. You can't do both lanes. Police departments approved that. Mark and I also went and talked to the pastor at the church across the street, and he's amenable to having any other patrons park in his lot too on Tuesdays and Saturday afternoon. So that was a really nice visit, and we appreciated, just his cooperation on that. We expect that playground, or the parking lots will probably be about a 3-week period from start to finish in getting that done. We talked a little bit about my work plan, and I think one of the real exemplary things that, please take notice of is just our leadership team and a lot of their professional development that they exhibited this past year as well. Certainly something that we support as an agency, and we want to encourage our staff to continue to develop. And so there's some really valuable just information in there if you get a chance to look at that, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any questions on that. So our community survey went out yesterday. Today is the 25th, so on the 24th, we mailed a survey to our 55-plus community. And just initial feedback we wanted to get from them, and Cheryl will be tabulating that. And then there's a community-wide survey that will be sent in a postcard to all of our residents beginning the week of the 29th of April, and certainly we encourage all of our residents to fill that out. It's really vital and it's important information for our board to receive this data so we can make future decisions on the district's finances. So please, if you're watching this meeting, we encourage you to fill that out. And then just, two other things. One is just a public hearing. A reminder, as Jessica reminded you, just it's for any of the public to come and address any questions they have for the park board at that hearing. I know Commissioner Robbins is now going to be attending, so between the three of you, and I think Commissioner Sente is going to also be present. So we invite the public to come and offer any questions or comments on that. And then just lastly, you'll see, even just if you read our monthly financials, and, here we are, we're 10 months through the fiscal year, and things are looking very, our projections are looking very positive. And so we don't expect, at this point, any hiccups, and we would, and I just think at the end of May, I'll feel better when we see it and come to you in June, okay? That would conclude my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Jeff? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. This evening, there are no commissioner committee reports, no communications to be heard, and there's no correspondence to be heard. So with that, time for any commissioner comments. Janice, anything this evening?
No, none on my part.
Okay. Abra? Nothing. Okay, I don't have anything either. Having addressed all items on the agenda, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And may I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes. The time is 6:42, and the regular meeting is now adjourned.